Travel ban. The list will be out tomorrow. According to some sources familiar with the White House, the official list will be out tomorrow. We already have the draft list, but the official one will be out tomorrow. I want to talk about it. The question becomes, can I travel? Should I wait? What exactly should I do? 4 categories of people. Number one, let's start with number one. People with advanced parole. Just don't do it. The reason you don't want to do it, it's because definitively you'll be denied entry. Why? Because of prior unlawful presence. That's it. If you are traveling on advanced parole, it simply means that your application is pending with USCIS. That's why you're trying to travel on advanced parole when your application is still pending with USCIS, right? The question becomes, when your application is pending with USCIS, are you lawfully present in the US? Most of the time, the answer is no. And it clearly says it on the application for advanced parole that there's no guarantee to come back, right? And when they give you advanced parole, if you look at the notice itself, the approval notice, it's going to cite a lot of immigration laws, rules there, just to tell you how much there's no guarantee, right, for coming back. And under Biden, they didn't use that provision to deny people entry, but under this current administration, they're using it already, and they will definitively use it once the travel ban is out. Just don't do it. Advanced parole, don't do it. TPS with travel document, valid travel document. Should I do it? Should I not do it? It's going to be maybe. The way I'll proceed, I'm just going to check. If I have prior removal order, don't do it. If I have criminal records, don't do it. If my country is on the list, especially on the red list and orange list, don't do it. But if you have travel, you have TPS and you don't have a prior removal order in the system, and you have no criminal record, valid TPS, valid travel document, country is not on the travel ban list, then maybe, especially if it's an emergency that you really have to go, then maybe. Green card holders. The way I'm going to proceed with green card holders is that I am going to look at the travel ban list. If my country is on the red list, orange list, and even on the yellow list, and I happen to have criminal records in the system, even if those criminal records were waived, I'm just going to refrain from traveling, especially if it's not an emergency. And then green card holders with notice to appear, just don't do it, because mandatory detention when you're coming back, just don't do it. And then we have, lastly, naturalized citizen. You might ask me why a naturalized citizen can be concerned about this travel ban list. It's because of the total ban on the red list. Why? Because you don't want to go where it is definitively banned, especially on the total ban red list. And you don't want to go to those type of countries, and maybe you might be engaged in some activities that will be deemed unfavorable for the United States, and that's how they'll get somebody. And when you come back, they might start denaturalization proceedings against you. Yeah, just try to avoid it, because nowadays anything can happen. Okay, especially with the remember the guy who got arrested, the guy from Palestine, who's detained until today because of his activities. Yeah, just try not to do it. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. That's how I'm gonna proceed with travel ban. Okay, really, the question becomes, that's the second question that you have to ask yourself, is that, are my travel plans worth deportation proceedings or detention, mandatory detentions? If they're not worth that, then just don't do it. Wait a little bit until we have clear guidance on those entry, okay? Because, you know, the officer at the port of entry has broader discretion on who to deny entry or on who to detain, on who to place in removal proceedings. By the time you start fighting and defending yourself, you're still the one who's losing, you know, in terms of money, time, and all that. I mean, you might sue them later on if you have reason to believe that they detain you improperly. But, you know, it's emotionally draining, okay? So if you can avoid it, just avoid it until we get clear guidance, okay? That's how I'm going to proceed with travel ban. USCIS denials. What's happening with USCIS denials and people being sent to removal proceedings is the fact that we no longer have this priority guideline that we use under the Biden administration. Previously, if a case gets denied, it's not necessarily being sent to court because of priority guidelines, because if the person is not a priority, then there's no reason to send that person in court, right? But now, if a denial, automatic notice to appear, and you be brought to immigration proceedings, removal proceedings. So what exactly should I do? The answer is very simple. In order to apply for anything, I-130, I-485, I-765, you really have to look at the basis for your applications, okay? If you meet the eligibility, then yes, you can apply. And when you meet the eligibility requirements, you still have to double check your DS-160 or the DS-260. When you came to the United States, what exactly did you put on your application? And you have to verify your records in terms of criminal activities, okay? So if you feel like there is some type of misrepresentation, fraud involved in your application, and if you have a basis for a waiver, then yes, you can apply, because at least you know you can file for a waiver, and as long as you can prove extreme hardship, then of course it might get approved. But other than that, and then if you don't have criminal records, of course, yes, you can apply, because you know if you get approved, you're never gonna be sent to court. But other than that, if you verify your information and you don't see anything, if you see things that might render you ineligible and there's no waiver available, might as well don't apply, because you don't just want to be brought to court, right? Especially at this time when you just don't want, you don't want that. Anyway, so what exactly can you do? Again, double check your file, verify fraudulent information, fraudulent document, anything that has to do with fraud, misrepresentation, criminal activities, in order to determine whether or not I can apply or whether or not a waiver is warranted under my circumstances, okay? Until next time, bye-bye.